My name is Jake, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to save money so that you can invest more money. My YouTube channel is all about reaching financial independence with dividend investing. That's really what I created the channel for, to share with all of you how I did it. What you're seeing on your screen is my M1 Finance portfolio. I transferred over $200 back in the middle of 2019, about 5 years ago, and I dollar cost averaged into the portfolio. I transferred over a brokerage from, I believe, Vanguard into M1 back in 2021, and then I sold a rental property here in 2022, deposited that money into the portfolio. And if you know my story, in January of 2023, I was laid off from my job and I was no longer reinvesting the dividends, and I no longer contributed any more money to my portfolio. So it's just been sitting there slowly, passively growing organically, no new contributions. The portfolio just hit an all-time high. I mean, I'm not invested into hyper growth stocks. I'm invested into like Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble. And so it's really cool to see the portfolio grow. But yeah, I talk a lot about how to invest in the simple path to wealth with dividend investing, which was inspired by J.L. Collins, where you're investing into SHD and DJRO as your core portfolio. So I talk a lot about how to invest, but I don't talk a lot about how to save money. And that's a very important component if you want to build wealth. What I always talk about is stay out of consumer debt, don't spend more money than you make, and look for new ways to make more money. And a topic that I don't talk a lot about is how to save more money. And I want to talk about that in today's video. If you watched one of my more popular videos here a couple of weeks ago, where I talked about how I went from a net worth of $0 to $2 million in 10 years, and a big part of that video was focusing on increasing my savings rate. And I was able to do that by those three things: staying out of consumer debt, not spending more money than I made, and looking for new ways to make more money through getting pay raises at my job. But I also did it by cutting my expenses. A lot of people commented on how I was able to get an 80% savings rate. I did it largely because I watched where I spent my money. In today's video, I want to share with you 10 ways on how I saved money so that I could invest more into my portfolio, which allowed me to reach barista fire at the age of 37. So the stuff that we're going to talk about in today's video, your average person can do. Sometimes in order to save money, you just have to be a little creative. And it could look a little like this.
Alam nyo ba na mas masarap kainin ng old-fashioned donuts ni Lola Nenas na mainit? Initin ito sa microwave ng 15 seconds. Happy eating!
すいません。大丈夫ですか？ツルッツルの脇。
I love those unhinged commercials, especially like the Japanese ones. Like, they're so creative, and it's just like, you know, as an American, when you watch that, you're just like, what? I miss those like unhinged old commercials that push the line, push the boundaries in terms of, is this like, okay, can you talk about this? Like, yeah, I think if you're a millennial or older, you know what I'm talking about. Those old commercials where you're just like, what? Did they just do that? Nowadays, everybody is so sensitive. You can't really offend anyone. And so you have to be very careful on what you do and what you put on TV. But yeah, good times. Anyways, so some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, these 10 ways that, you know, random ways that I saved money. Some of them are just really common sense, right? They just, your average person probably knows, but it's a good reminder, and that's why I'm going to list some of them. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what your favorite ways to save money are. If you agree with the 10 that I listed in this video, obviously there's many other ways and many different things that you can do. So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. And I love videos like this because I love reading the comments and hearing other people's opinions on how they approach this as well. So the first way that I saved money so that I could invest more is that I would buy gift cards at a discounted price. Now, you have to be very careful how you do this, but if you do it correctly, it can save you a lot of money. And on average, you can save anywhere from 10 to 20%. And there's many ways that you can go about purchasing gift cards at a discount. So for example, you can use websites like this. I'm not promoting this website. I've never used this specific website. I've used others, but just to show you a simple example, if for example, you shop at Lowe's, and you know that you have to buy a hammer or a tool or something like that, and you know you're going to spend some money, what you can do is you can buy a gift card, a $25 gift card, at a 10% discount. So instead of paying $25, you're paying $22.50. So you're getting an immediate 10% reduction on it. And this only makes sense if you're going to use the gift card. So don't go and buy a gift card for $25 with the intention of spending $25. The whole point is to get that, that spread, to get that extra savings. And I really, really enjoyed this. What I personally would do, I've done this many times, is I would go on a website like samsclub.com or Costco, whichever one you have in your area, whichever you use. And I would do this all the time. You see this one here on the top left? This is a $100 gift card from Domino's, but it only costs $75. So I'm immediately saving 25%. And it only makes sense if you buy stuff from Domino's or wherever it may be. And so the one thing that you don't want to do is buy these and then lose them or forget about them. But if you actually use them, they can be a great tool to save, an immediate 10, 20, or 25% in this case from Domino's. And one of the things that I really liked with this is to go on date nights, right? Date nights can be expensive. So you're going to go somewhere. Well, buy the gift card in advance and prepare for it. This is not something that you do kind of last minute. You kind of want to prepare for this. Otherwise, you could make it not worth it. If you don't use it, it negates the whole benefits that come with it. Another great thing is birthdays or holidays or gifts. This is a great way to save a little bit of money. And so this is the first way that I was able to save money so that I could invest more into my portfolio. The next way that I save money is a little bit creative and a little sneaky because I used to work for a lot of marketing companies. I actually worked for an email marketing company, one of the bigger ones. And what we would do is we would sell brands, retailers, an abandoned cart product or software that they could use to offer to their customers. This is where I learned about this. And a lot of companies, a lot of online retailers, if you go on their website and add a product to your shopping cart and you go to check out, and let's say, for example, you put in your email, but you don't end up buying the product, and you quote unquote abandon the shopping cart, what will usually happen is a lot of these retailers, they automate this entire process. What they do is they have an email marketing service or a e-commerce platform where they will automatically send the email address a coupon, or, hey, did you forget something? Hey, here's 20% off to complete your purchase. So if you know that you're going to buy those pair of shoes, why not consider taking advantage of the abandoned cart hack? That's what I call it, the abandoned cart hack, because you know that you're going to buy it anyways. Maybe you're not in a complete rush. So what I would do is I go to the website of the retailer that I knew that I was going to buy the product from. I would go and put it into the shopping cart. I'd put in my email address, and then I would just close the screen. And then usually what happens, either an hour or a day later, I'll get an email like this that you can see on your screen. And the retailer will be like, hey, come back. We want you to finish your purchase. And it's an easy way to get 10, 20, or 30% off a purchase that you were probably going to buy anyways. Okay. And so this is really great. If you know that you're going to buy something, you know the retailer or the website that you're going to buy it from, this is a great hack to get that 10, 20, or 30% off. Let's say you're going to spend $100. Well, if you could save $20 or $30, that's $20 or $30 that you could invest into your portfolio. You see how this works? That's how I did it. It's stuff like this that helped me move the needle a little bit so that I could invest a little bit more. The third way that I save more money is a big one. Now, this affects every single one of you out there. This is a really, really important one. And this is monthly subscriptions. This is probably the easiest and hardest place to start. You can easily spend hundreds of dollars on monthly subscriptions. This can be anything from an Amazon Prime account, Netflix, Hulu, or even a medical subscription. Say you have like a hair gel or something, or some kind of medical subscription. There's a lot of websites out there that try to get you on a monthly or quarterly plan. There's a lot of them. Or even data storage for your phone from Apple. I pay Apple like $10 a month just so I can have more storage because my wife takes so many freaking pictures of our baby. And so my storage on my phone is getting full. And so I have to pay Apple like $10 a month so that I can store all the beautiful pictures of my little baby boy, Lucas. I love it, but it's yet again another thing that I have to pay for on a monthly basis. I mean, what am I going to do? Not have pictures of my son? I mean, come on, right? And Apple knows that. Or what am I going to do? Not have pictures of my little kittens? Like, come on. So this can be your internet bill, your phone bill. The list never ends. Companies really want to get you hooked on paying a monthly subscription because it's reoccurring revenue and predictable for the company, which their shareholders of these companies absolutely love. One example that I did just this week, I mean, honestly, this is actually what I did this week. I downgraded my Spotify Premium family plan to a family basic plan. Did you know that Spotify has a family basic plan? I didn't either until this week. And so I'm now saving $3 a month because I didn't even know that they had that. And when you Google it, I try to Google it here in preparation for this video. They're so sneaky. They don't even show it on their website. They don't show it in the Google search. Okay, you actually have to go into your account to be able to see the family basic plan. They don't want you to downgrade. And the only difference between the family premium plan and the basic plan is $3 a month. But the only difference is with the basic plan, you don't get audiobooks. I've never listened to an audiobook on Spotify. So I'm paying for that extra service that I didn't even know about, and I didn't even know that there was another option. And so it's so important. These companies are so sneaky. I remember when I got the family plan, I think it was like 10 or 12 bucks. Now it's like 20 bucks. And you know, inflation is real. So keeping an eye on these kind of things can be so important because they can really sneak up on you. And I've cut the cord on a lot of services that I no longer use, but one that I'm most proud of is my phone bill. So before I was on T-Mobile paying, I think $60 a month for myself. And what I did was this was like 4 or 5 years ago. One of the things that I'm most happy about is I stopped paying the premium price for the big, cell networks, T-Mobile, Verizon, et cetera. And I switched to a lower cost provider, Mint Mobile. I'm not sponsored by them, but instead of paying $60 a month with T-Mobile, I now pay $15 a month, which I pay annually. So I pay it annually and then it equals out to $15 a month. And I get the exact same service with Mint Mobile as I did because Mint Mobile uses the same cell towers as T-Mobile. So I get the exact same service. And actually, you probably didn't hear about this, but T-Mobile just acquired Mint Mobile. So in theory, I'm actually back on, I'm a T-Mobile customer, but I'm paying a fraction of the cost. I even got my parents to switch to Mint Mobile. And this took a little bit of time because they're like, they were so brand conscious and so like, oh, I can't go from T-Mobile because the service will be worse. Or I can't go from Verizon because the service will be worse. I was talking to my dad about getting him to switch and he was like, I don't know about that. Is this going to be worse service? And there was just a lot of uncertainty around it in his eyes. Now he's been using Mint Mobile for 6 months. And I was talking to him this week and he says that he doesn't notice any difference. The exact same service. And this is my boomer dad that I got to finally switch. And he's like, why didn't I do this sooner? So if you do want to check out Mint Mobile, I've been using it for like 4 or something years. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out. It is an affiliate link, so I do benefit from it. But I do believe if you use my link, you get like 3 months for free or something like that. So it's not bad. If there wasn't any value to you, I wouldn't plug it into this video. And it's like, when you see a good movie, you want to recommend it to your friends. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm recommending it because I get a lot of value out of it. I save a lot of money. But yeah, I don't care if you use Mint Mobile or not, or any other version out there. All I'm saying here is consider your options and don't be complacent overpaying for something that you could probably get a better price somewhere else. So that's all I'm saying here. The fourth one here is credit card travel hacking. Now, all the Dave Ramsey fans out there, please cover your ears for this part. Travel hacking and taking advantage of sign-up bonuses from credit cards has been one of my favorite ways to save money these past few years. Now that I'm no longer working and I'm kind of a little bit more conscious of this kind of stuff, it's been a pretty big game changer in terms of what we can do. Do you ever wonder how normal people, maybe your friends or whoever, are able to somehow afford a really nice vacation? They probably aren't special. They probably just took advantage of credit card hacking. Now I'm noticing that more and more. Not everybody is a doctor. Not everybody's an engineer. How do all these people have money? For example, my wife and I, we never took a honeymoon since getting married 7 years ago. Okay. 7 years. She's mad and not mad. We kind of had a little bit of a pandemic in between. So there was kind of that. Then we had a son. There was kind of that. And so we're now finally at that phase where we can actually do it. We could have Lucas stay with my mom and dad and they can watch him. So we're finally going in January on our honeymoon after 7 years. Oh my gosh. When I say that out loud, I'm just like, what? I guess. But yeah, it's true. We're actually going. I can show you all the receipts if anybody's like, oh, that's 7 years. Who does that? Well, me. I guess I do that. But anyways, we're going to be going to Aruba. We wanted to go to Aruba forever, ever since we met. We saw videos on Instagram or whatever, people going and swimming with pigs or whatever in Aruba. Weird. I know it's weird. But yeah, we're going to go to Aruba for 7 days here in January. And the hotel rooms are entirely free because we used sign-up bonuses from credit cards. My favorite way to credit card hack is either with business cards. There's a lot of great sign-up bonuses with business cards and hotel cards. There's other ones out there like with flights and airlines. I never really got any value from them. I usually do it for hotels, and that's where I personally have seen the most value. There's other people out there that have had different experiences. That's just my personal experience. And when it comes to business cards, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Business cards, you don't have to have an LLC or anything like that. You can be a sole proprietor with just your Social Security. So if you mow lawns or you generate $1 from a side hustle, you qualify for a business card. If you just make $1 from a side hustle, you qualify. You don't have to have this big enterprise, big business. Like just a little guy can sign up for a business card. Okay. So a lot of people don't understand that. And you can be a sole proprietor just with your Social Security. And some of my favorite, like I said, I haven't tried all of them, but just from personal experience, I'm not going to recommend anything that I've not done myself. I really like the hotel ones. I like the Marriott ones. I like the IHG ones. I like the Chase Business Inc. cards. There's some really, really good ones out there. The sign-up bonuses with them are great. The only drawback is the initial, to qualify for the bonus, you do have to budget and prepare because some of them have like $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 sign up requirements. So you only do this when you're preparing it in advance, right? So if you know that you have a big expense coming up, that's where these can be very, very valuable. And that's what I've done. For example, I pay my quarterly taxes with my credit cards so that I can get the sign up bonus. So if I make $100 here on YouTube, I can sign up with the Chase Inc. business card, and I can pay my quarterly taxes with it to qualify for the sign up bonus. A lot of people don't know that, but if you have a little side hustle or a business, you can pay your quarterly taxes. Or if you're retired, or if not, and you know that you're going to be owing money, you can pay your taxes with a credit card. And I recommend not doing it with TurboTax at the end of the year. Do it with a different provider through the government. There's specific vendors that do it. If there's interest on that, I've done that. That's how I travel hack, by the way, guys. I've thought about making a video on this, but that's how I do it. I pay my quarterly dividend taxes because I make my dividends. I have to pay taxes on them. You know what I do? I get a sign up for a credit card. I pay my quarterly taxes on it, and I get the sign-up bonuses from that. And so if you want to hear more about that, let me know. You can email me or leave a comment. I'm an open book. There's a reason why normal people are able to do this kind of stuff. They're not special. They just maybe know something that you don't. I will leave a link to these 2 credit cards that I personally recommend, that I personally own. I would never recommend anything that I don't own. I'll leave them in the description of this video. I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't really think that they're valuable or that they're good. And so you can check them out. They are affiliate links, but yeah, no pressure. The fifth way that I save money so that I could invest more is I shop at discount stores and I buy off-brand products. I don't buy name brand stuff. I don't buy Nike stuff or Adidas stuff. The only time I buy Adidas stuff is when it's on sale at Ross or Michael's, those discount stores here in the US. I can buy that. I'll buy a $7 Adidas shirt. Okay, that's cool. I'll do that, but I'm not going to pay $30, $40, $50 in a department store. I almost never buy brand products anymore. Brands are really good at creating the illusion of quality. Brand marketing has been around for decades. Companies are are only getting better and sneakier with how they market their products. I studied marketing in college, and I understood that, there was a case study that we went over back from the 1950s, 1950s, around that time period, where brands started to understand that the women of the 1950s would buy flour, branded flour, just baking flour. They would spend more for the same product if it had an image on the product, a brand, versus just a generic brand of flour. And I remember studying and learning about that in college, and it's just like, man, the human brain you can get so manipulated into thinking something or the illusion of something. So I am not a fan of paying more for something and not getting value out of it. A long time ago, I worked at a grocery store. I was a bagger, I was a checker, I did all that good stuff. I remember pushing in the carts in the dead of winter. That was fun. And the ice and seeing like 10 carts go down the hill and I'm chasing them. Yeah, that was 16-year-old Jake. I did that. That was fun. In the grocery store, you'll often find the off-brand products on the, in the lower shelves. So you have to kind of bend down and see on the lower shelves, you're going to see those off brands and you're going to see the difference in the prices. And a lot of times the products are fairly similar or comparable. And a lot of times those off brands, they have, in some cases, not always, less sugar, less preservatives, less sodium. Okay, so it might actually be even healthier for you. And I love buying clothes at companies like, stores like Ross, or going and buying clothes when they're on sale at Costco. I don't need fancy things. And because of that, I was able to save more and invest more into my portfolio over the years. The sixth way that I save more money is to buy non-perishables in bulk when they're on sale. Now, I'm not talking about buying groceries in bulk because those can expire and spoil. There are things in life that we use over and over, like toothpaste or like shampoo or deodorant. I personally buy most of my hygienic products or hygiene products in bulk when they're on sale. When they're not on sale, I don't buy them in bulk, only when they're on sale. And sometimes I'll buy over-the-counter medicine in bulk when they're on sale. But you want to make sure with medicines that you check the expiration date. That's really, really important. I'm talking about my ibuprofen or my multivitamins, my fish oils, stuff like that. So stuff that I know that I take on a regular basis. And so when you notice that you use something over and over again and you see it on sale and it's not non-perishable, I usually will buy more of it. Like, I'll give you an example here the other day. I usually wear the same kind of shoes, and I saw that they were on sale at Costco. And so what did I do? My feet have not grown in years, so I know my size. I bought 2 pairs, and I just put the other pair in the closet. In 1 or 2 or 3 years, whenever I need new shoes, they're right there. And guess what? I bought them on sale, and inflation is a thing. And so I locked in my price because I know I'm going to like those shoes and because I'm going to wear them. And so it's just random stupid things like that I would do to consciously save money because I'm simple like that. I never needed really fancy things. And the point is, you buy things in bulk when they're on sale. You want to make sure that they don't expire or go bad. The 7th way that I save money is I set a weekly budget whenever possible. Normally, I've noticed that the more granular I can be with my budget, the more I control the outcome. Now, I'm not talking about being over OCD here, but I've noticed that when I focus on a weekly budget in certain areas instead of monthly, I'm able to keep my costs down. I'll give you an example. I now focus on a weekly grocery and eating out budget versus monthly. I used to always go over my budget when looking at it monthly. For whatever reason, I would always get ahead of myself and I'd always go over budget. I now focus weekly and it works a lot better for me. So when it comes to setting your budget, find what works for you and try to stick with it. Don't be complacent and just accept, oh, we're going over. Find a way that works for you and try to stick with it. The eighth way is don't pay for every convenience. Now I'm talking about food delivery, DoorDash, Uber Eats. Don't pay those astronomical fees for food delivery for convenience. Or for example, if you are capable and able and you have a small yard, mow your own yard. And don't pay somebody to do it for you if you're capable, if you're able to. Now, time is money, obviously, but it's all about perspective. If you don't get outside a lot, if you work behind a computer, wouldn't it be good for you to get out in the sun maybe once every other week? So really being conscious of not overspending for convenience. I'll give you an example. I was traveling here with my dad this last week, and I went out to go to get a burrito, and it was like $14 for a little burrito. And I'm just like, what? $14? Like, what? I mean, freaking Jerome Powell and his transitory crap, like $14 for a burrito. Now I know somebody in New York is gonna be like, oh, well, Jake, we paid $20 for a burrito. I don't care. You probably make twice as much as I did. So it's all relative, but like, it's so expensive. I went and it was great. It was convenient. It was fine. Or like going and getting, like, if you live in New York, going and paying for like $11 for an egg McMuffin. Could you imagine paying $11 for an egg McFreaking muffin? Like, holy crap. So really just being conscious of it. And one of the areas that I've really focused on is I personally love energy drinks. That's my guilty pleasure is I love energy drinks. Now, I know that they're bad for me, and that's okay. Okay, whatever. I used to buy those Celsius drinks all the time, and not only was it unhealthy for me, but it was really expensive. I now try and focus more on a more healthier and cheaper version of that. And so what I decided to do was, instead of going the expensive, unhealthy route, I try to find kind of a middle ground. And so what I do is I personally buy the Optimum Nutrition, I think they're like pre-workouts or something like that, and I take the powder and I put it in water. And so it helps me stay in budget because it's much more affordable than paying for an energy drink. And I feel better drinking them because it's just water with powder. Obviously it would be healthier to just drink water. Okay, calm down. But it is what it is. But I'm thinking about my mom telling me how unhealthy it is. Okay, Mom. All right. I know it, but I want it anyways because I like it. Anyways, who else has a mom that like guilts you into not doing something? That's my mom. Okay, so one insider tip, if you want to try this out, is the Optimum Nutrition Strawberry Burst. Oh, it is amazing. Tastes so great. Put ice in it or put it in the fridge, the water in the fridge, cool it. Oh, it is amazing, especially on a hot summer. If you're into that kind of stuff, not everybody is, but I absolutely love it. That's my favorite flavor. But anyways, you pay for convenience, be aware of this, and see if you really need the convenience, or if you can go without, or if you can find an alternative. Okay, that's what it all comes down to, is being conscious about what you're spending on for convenience. The ninth one here is pretty straightforward. Most people have heard of is meal prepping. This is something that we did all the time, but I like to throw in here as well, but still have cheat meals. You don't want to live miserably because you're only eating chicken, rice, and broccoli. This really helps you to not impulse buy expensive, unhealthy food. The way that I did it, we didn't do like dinner, lunch, and breakfast. While I was working, I would meal prep every single lunch for almost 10 years. While I was working in an office and even when I was working from home during the pandemic, I would always meal prep my lunch. My breakfast, did what I did. Dinner, we kind of did whatever we did. But every single lunch, I would meal prep. So you want to get creative with it. You don't want to eat the same thing every single day. It can really save you a lot of money today and later in life, so you don't have to pay a lot of medical bills down the road because it can keep you healthy. The 10th way I saved money so that I could invest more is I DIY'd wherever possible. I did it myself. Do it yourself wherever possible. This comes back to, the example with mowing your own lawn. I refuse to pay someone to mow my lawn when I'm capable and able to do it. Actually, I actually have my wife do it because I have allergies, but my wife mows our lawn and I edge the yard. It's always so fun. Like gosh, I got a picture of my wife mowing the lawn. Fun fact. So the day before she gave birth to our son, Lucas, she was out there mowing the lawn. She loves it though. Well, I'm going to get in trouble. I got to be careful what I say. Yeah, so my wife mowing the lawn, 9 months pregnant, the day before she gave birth. And, but I do edge. I edge. All right. So anyways, another thing is fix your own faucet. Okay. Like little things around the house that you can do. You don't have to pay a handyman and pay $300 an hour, right? And being dependent on somebody else. Fix your own faucet. Learn how to do these kind of things. It's not difficult. YouTube is such a great resource so that you can learn how to do things. You know, stuff with your car. How do you change your own air filter? I remember going with our little Hyundai Elantra, going to the to get our oil changed at the dealer, and they're like, yeah, do you want to change your, this was when we brand new bought the car and everything, and they're like, yeah, do you want to change your air filter? It'll be $100. I was like, $100? That seems a little steep. What did I do? I went online and I bought an air filter for $8 and I changed it myself. I saved over 90%. Like little stuff like that, changing your air filter, your engine air filter, those kind of things, little maintenance things can save you so much money. And just think about it. Instead of paying $100, I paid $8, did it myself, and then I invested $90. The impact, though it may seem small, it can have a massive impact when you look at all of these things that we talked about in today's video. Let me give you another example. I just put in rocks around my foundation in my house in Austin, and I had the rocks delivered myself. Instead of paying someone to do it, I was able to save around $2,000 by taking a day, borrowing a neighbor's wheelbarrow, and doing it myself, right? I did kind of hurt my back, but that's because whatever. But like I did it myself and I felt great afterwards. And I also, another example is I painted my own fence. I didn't pay somebody to come paint it. I did it myself. That alone saved me $1,000 to $2,000, right? So learn how to fix things and do things yourself on your own so that you can be less dependent on other people, and it will make your life a heck of a lot easier. And also another really great hack is have a wife that will mow your lawn. Like, I can't say it enough, right? Everybody in the, like, oh my gosh. I can just imagine all the angry wives out there watching this, or the angry girlfriends like, why does he mow his own lawn? He's capable. I have allergies, okay? I'll get a stuffy nose and it'll be really uncomfortable if I mow my lawn. So guys, this is how you do it. You get a wife who's 9 months pregnant. You get a wife. The 9 months pregnant thing maybe comes later. You get a wife and you have her mow your lawn. Probably should edit this stuff out. If I don't edit this out and I decide to keep this in the video, oh man, I don't know. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling now. The video's long enough. These are 10 ways that just reasonable 10 easy ways of how your normal person can save money on your everyday things so that you can invest a little bit more money into your portfolio. So whether you are doing these 10 things or 10 other things, the point of this video is to be conscious and be aware of what you're spending and what's important to you, understanding that and finding a way that it works for you. And if you want to retire, if you want to live a different life, you have to do things differently than your average person. If you want to be different, you have to be different. And it's okay to be different in a good way. You can do these things and still enjoy your life. And I am so grateful that I didn't have to have the most expensive things, that I was able to, take these small steps so that it had a massive impact in the long term, so that I was able to live a different life and achieve financial independence with Barista Fire at the age of 37. So that, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your favorite way to save money? Is it one of these that I listed here today, or is it something else? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see everybody in next week's video.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe.
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends. Can everyone say hi to my friend? That's crazy. I just wanted to say thanks. I'm glad you came along, partner.